Hey, greetings, Jedi Traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the daily trend for July 13th, 2016. We are on week 28, day 3. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only. Support your knowledge in the market. See what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, we're going to just take a look at the futures today. We'll get back into market cap leaders tomorrow. Econ data for today, guys. Let's jump right in. It was a full session there. Beige book out today. If you're interested in that, find that link online. You can have some nice evening reading there. It was EIA Petroleum status report today with the NBA mortgage applications up and 4.1 million barrels on distillates, setting the crude to the south downside. Best trending move of the day. As far as the futures indices today, not a great week so far. Only 13 setups, a total 185 ticks net. Not much to talk about there. Very weak. One loss here today, negative 48 ticks. I'll show you what I was looking at, and but able to regather and put in a 71 tick entry to finish out with 23 ticks. 16 tick entry on the ES, stayed away from the YM, and so for a total of 39 ticks for the session. You wouldn't have thought that that's where we were headed today, as the overnight or pre-market session was moving nicely, very nicely, all in the green, 5 charts in the green, and by the time market opened, yeah, that's where we were at, taking all those positions out, and that kind of led into what the session was going to look like for the most part for today. There it was, the AD line to the downside in the first post 30 minutes of trading. So you have an AD line that's coming downside, and you're thinking that price action to the downside, and it had a wonderful entry on the NQ. Unfortunately, turned south. We'll again take a look at that later, but keep that in mind, that first 30-minute chart that we're looking at. But there it was. That was the move of the session right there towards the European close. Again, why I'm really never getting anything off the ground here until maybe a little bit in the afternoon. But there it was. Nice move on the NQ with just about 5 charts in the red till it got going. And then ES also after a 2-bar pullback. That was the move of the session. So there it is. Recap right there. After one loss on the NQ in the morning, getting that back, and then ES to the downside. That was it for the day. Wrapped it up. All right, let's take a look at that ES setup that we just had. Going back to the ES chart, I like to sometimes pull up the multiple time frames as we see why was this a good entry. Well, when we take a look at having as many charts in sync on that 2-bar pullback, again, you're not taking it automatically on the sell signal. You're waiting a little bit of pullback, trying to get your T3 moving averages and seeing price on the higher time frames in the upper right-hand corners to be in sync. It took a little bit of a delay on that 5th chart till eventually got going. This chart over here in the upper right-hand corner, the highest time frame, but mid-term, low-term, low-tick, and mid-tick charts in sync together with the 50 underneath the 144. And management to the downside. So looking for those entries every day. I know it takes a lot of patience to wait for those and not in and out and in and out, but waiting for those setups was the key to having the highest probability moves instead of the silly mistake this morning by jumping in on an early setup. But I wasn't wrong. I was just not all 100% winners. All right. Take a look at the crude here. Another example of the multiple time frames, why this was the trending session move of the day. As we can see here, sell signal to the downside with several pullback opportunities. Again, we'll take a look at the bigger picture in here in a little bit, but this was the move this morning, just noting the trend, not trading, just noting it as it moved down here on 5 charts post. That's right, this is post crude released EIA, and again, first bar is very quick. Finally, price action slowed down a little bit, gave you a pullback opportunity on the sell signal, 5 charts. You have the 2 higher time frames in the upper right-hand corner. You have the 50 below the 144, giving you 5 charts in the red. You take the risk, you enter, place your stop at the swing size, get your first contracts off, move your stop to break even, and you ride it down and you manage it on the charts, on the Heikin Ashi bar. So really nice move to the downside today on the crude. All right, again, we saw that AD line to the downside today, and there it was. This is a 10-minute chart, giving you overall bid picture. Again, watching that 750 line, that's where we held up. One of the questions brought up in the trading room today, why 0, why 750? For all that matters, these are lines in the sand where price action tends to slow down tends to stall before either moving on or sometimes just, you know what, blows right through it. Doesn't mean that every day when it hits zero it's going to stop there. It's just a line of interest. Again, today line of interest was 750 and it held up, and we got a little bit of a pullback today. Market not exactly ready to sell off this nice run up that we've had. All right, taking a look at the 5-minute charts all around the board. Crude again here, price action onto the EIA report, setting it down, really holding to the S2 line, and that's where we pretty much fizzled out the rest of the day. Again, move on all the major indices to the downside, ES, YM, and NQ, and then getting a little bit of boost back up right to the daily gap up here on the ES. YM finishing up around today's open after settling around the average low here and finding a low. Price action on the NQ real funky today. You'll see here in a moment. NQ all charts in the red downside and YM all upside. So we're in two opposite directions today. I'd say this market is like a little kid in a supermarket. Just doesn't know where it wants to go right now. And throw in summertime trading, you got yourself uncertainty. All right, price action again, upside, 25-minute open range high. You had a whole host of lines of defense right here. Price action obviously not being able to push on through. And there comes the short, price action to the downside. A lot of chop here around the daily gap and finishing a downside around the Camarilla pivot low. All right, how we do on those fib levels today? Fib projection levels. What happened here? I don't know what happened to my fib projection levels. They are not. I know what happened, guys. I changed my studies yesterday, so we'll come. Got to fix those charts, but those fib levels, yes, we hit them all to the downside today. So did a really nice job. We'll come back, get those charts set up next time. I apologize on that. Forgot that I didn't do that. All right, let's take a look at the daily gaps. Daily gaps again. That was 3 for 3 on the fib levels downside. Fib levels moving into daily gaps. Daily gaps as we run up, and YM still haven't closed out yesterday's 2 days gap, 18,197 down here as price action still holding upside again, 36.75 down here in the ES. We did close out this gap up here, 45.80. When you go back and say where was that gap? Oh my gosh, yeah, that was back in December. Yeah, price action eventually ran back up. What I tell you guys, 100% guarantee regular trading hours gaps, we close them out. So we can go ahead and close out that gap and clear out that signal back there and erase that. And now price action has cleared that out, and today we closed out 63.50 here. So next one down, 23.25, but remember NQ still with 1 to the upside, the ES and the YM nothing upside. Why do I look at these? Just levels of interest there, Jedi traders. Again, price action, someone holding to that zone today where the open gap was and not really pushing much further. So like to see it, like to watch it, know that it's there, especially when you start getting a nice run down. Just keeping that in mind. Again, trading just on the candles as far as momentum is concerned once on the trade. Hey, crude, I wanted to show this to you again. Crude down here, 40.24, 37.90 as we continue our migration downwards towards these open gaps from April. Again, I drew this line in yesterday, 43.23. Again, a line of interest as price action found some support here back in May. June, as we continue downside here. Watch for this first level here, 43.23, including any key moving averages that we might see here today. Taking a look at the VPOC all around. VPOC again, price action closing out yesterday's VPOC. Pretty much sideways action. Again, we have the 600-day VPOCs that are still remaining downside. We just have to tighten this up here, and there we are. Downside 17,805. Not many VPOCs upside as price action continues upside, but definitely a lot of business still back to the downside. Eventually, market, at least in the short term, I could see a pullback coming that might clear out some of these short positions down here on the VPOCs as well as the daily gaps if we migrate higher. All right, taking a look at the, let's jump right into the daily big pick on the daily trends here. There we go. Let's start with the crude. That's 6E. Let's start with the crude today. Again, we showed you that wonderful move. Again, when you're looking at the multiple time frames, all right, taking a look at the multiple time frames, just looking at the T3 chart with the 5 charts down here, each of these charts represented by the bars that I just showed you. Let me show you that one more time. We're talking about these charts right here, 1, 2, and 3, all represented down here. All right, and on one chart, you got your T350. Again, initial setup on the crude over here on the release of the number, very quick, not able to, it's very difficult to jump in, but then once you have the sell signal to the downside, 5 charts to the red, multiple time frames, and 50 underneath 144, makes for a very manageable trade to the downside. Once you're out, again, you're looking at pullback entries and saying, I'm going to go for it again, and what happens? Price action catches you here. Sometimes you take a loss if you try to get back in several times, but again, you're already pretty much chopping sideways at this point. And perhaps you're looking at any other indicator, but at this point, you hold off and wait for another possible clean setup. Again, if you enter on the sell signal here and your stops at the swing size, price action eventually led down to get at least 6 to 10 ticks off, so you would be okay on this trade. Again, at this point, you're just watching the momentum slow. You're watching other key levels, and again, I'm not trading it. I'm watching, observing it as other traders in the room are watching this, but seeing the momentum here. We had some traders make some nice ticks on the crude today. All right, taking a look at the YM. Is the YM moving down? Really, it was choppy action here on the YM today. Price action, again, here we see 5 charts in green to the upside. There it is, breaking above the T3 moving averages, but that, again, was pre-market. There was the market action on once the U.S. Open. Again, very choppy mid-session. There was the move downside. Again, not a bad move. Not a great move, but not a bad move. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 charts in the red. Again, the higher time frame on the YM really not being able to get anything going today to the downside. Again, if you see this kind of action, guys, you can simply say, all right, why not go ahead to a 10-7 to a 6-3, but you still have all that chop action. Maybe a 5-4 looks better. Maybe a 3-2. Again, a lot more signals. So I stick to the 10-7. I say, look, the setup's not there, but that would have been the setup of the day right there on the YM. But overall, I think we could see that price action was pretty much range bound there on the YM with only really one solid setup. All right, taking a look at the NQ. Where did I go wrong this morning? It was right here at the price action in the first 30 minutes. Here it was, price action's coming downside again. I didn't jump in on the first sell signal, but what I have here is I have a sell signal. I got 2 charts, almost 3, 4 charts in the red, and 5 charts in the red, breaking underneath T350. What I have here is I have an indecision candle. If I go to a 6-3, what I have is I have a nice pullback here. All right, again, at the end of the day, it's about going over your charts and understanding where did you go wrong. And so now I have a setup, pullback, entry right here. And what happens? Pulls right up. I never was able to get off those first ticks. And 5 charts in the red. And what I remember with that first chart I showed you, that's right, go back to the AD line. AD line was downside. I had a tick downside. So, like any other day, sometimes price action just doesn't work out. You got to manage your trades. So, I was in the hole, and what do? I wait, patience, right? Patience, and there it is. There was the next setup, right to the downside. No signals over here. Don't have all the charts aligned. Had 5 charts in sync. Ride it down all the way downside. We showed that to you if you forgot where it was. There she is to the downside. Bang, right there. Sell signal to the downside. All right, taking a look at the ES price action again to the downside here, catching up. It was the entry underneath the midnight open here as price action caught up on 5 charts for a little bit of ticks here to the downside. Once price action crossed back up, it was out. Really no afternoon session setups. As you can see, we were mixed all across the board, greens and reds. Taking a look at the gold, price action on the gold, it was upside overnight. As you can see here, nice move on the upside on the gold. Price action way choppy in the afternoon, but then again, there was the one single trade that I saw on the gold with the buy of T3 break above. That's what we're looking for, those kinds of moves in the market, and there was your one move. Hey, if you get one solid move out of the day, you've done good. And wrapping up here on the 6E, that's beauty right there. Buy signal right here, about 40 minutes. What is this, 10:20? Yeah, about 40 minutes post-action of the U.S. Open. There's a nice move. Buy signal upside, sitting above the T350. 5 charts in the green. That's what you're looking for. All contracts on. Hey, you got your one solid trade in for the day. Good job. Next setup was probably here at the end. Sell signal to the downside. 1, 2, 3 charts. Again, not the greatest of setups, but trend surely start to move down here. And with 3 charts in sync, doesn't make for a bad trade. Increased risk, as you didn't have all charts in sync, But again, very nice uptrend move on the euro today. All right, taking a look at the daily big pick as we move into tomorrow. Price action here on the crude, still sitting downside after reject off the 50 EMA on a 4-hour chart, still sitting in between the 50 and the 200. So again, like we said on the daily gaps, we're waiting for the 43.23 as a level of support. We're looking at VPOX as well. Price action if all the way down to 41.20 here to close out a former VPOC, and then watching the 200 here at 42.74. All levels of concern before we go out and close out anything lower, like an open gap down here at 40. Right now, trend will change once I can start getting back up above the 50 EMA and the 144. Until then, crude remains in a downtrend, but always ready in both directions on an intraday basis. All right, wrapping up and looking at our three indices here. Again, we've had somewhat of a trend change here as we're still in an upwards trend, 50 above the 144 all across the board. Price action's been sliding sideways here, still in an upwards trend. We have two red labels here on the T3 moving averages showing us confirmation of a pullback as price action, again, these lines up above our most recent highs in the market, as that's where we're holding up, and price action not exactly coming crashing down yet. Watching on the NQ, again, we got a nice 4-hour fib extension holding above fib target number 1 here at 45.09, fib target number 2 up here at 46.52 if price action is to continue upside. Again, drawn on 89.25 on the ES and 579 on the YM if price action is to hold up tomorrow. Again, big picture is we are still in an uptrend. Minor pullback on the NQ having a little bit of a challenge here. Again, watching intraday for the best of setups. I always like a setup that's in trend with the market on an intraday basis, but you got to be ready for both directions as we see the 4-hour charts in an uptrend. If I just waited for the same direction on the intraday as the bigger picture, you'd never get a setup. As we saw today, the best trend of the session was to the downside. All right, today's opening signal was trend predictor was long, but because we were range bound, we had 25-minute, 1-hour open range all sitting in the same line. Price action really not as indicated in the room today. No more than 10% from no more than 10% of the London session open. Pretty much showed for the reverse setup. So no move there. Except to the short. So trend predictor long was actually taking a look at a reverse as we continue to look at that every day. I do apologize there. Tomorrow we'll get those fib level lines up so you can see those as we look at that every day in the trading room. All right, as we move ahead into tomorrow, taking a look at the economic data as we roll out the week, taking a look at jobless claims, PPI, 2 red star events. We still have multiple Fed speakers, multiple. When I say multiple, I mean we have 5 tomorrow, 2 on Friday. We have red star events on Friday as well. So perhaps this lackluster week will turn into something positive in the next 2 days. We also have earnings seasons and changing of the guard in the country of England as they make the change over there in the weeks and months ahead. All right, guys, that concludes an insight into the daily trend for today. Feel free to stop by tradingfibs.com or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. My trading mantra of one simple strategy: any market, any chart, any time frame will keep you disciplined. You find me every day on Twitter and Trade Fibs, and as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only trade what's in front of me and on my charts, and as always, leave your bias at the door when trading. Hey guys, if you're interested in ever checking out the room and you want to come in and see this live, I usually have sessions on Friday. Just go ahead and email me, david@tradingfibs.com, where I'll go ahead and send you the link for Friday. You can check it out, see if you like it, see if you can learn from anything from it, and then we can go from there. Hey guys, have yourself a Blue Zone day. Good day, good night, and wherever you may be, good trading as we roll out this week, week 28. 2 days left. Boy, I sure hope it gets better. Peace out.